This video is made for adult collectors because, oh man, we can't go a year without having a toy cause some minor bit of controversy now, can we?
No, no one can control Dark Energon. It dominates and destroys everything it touches.
I am the Dominator. I am the Destroyer. I am Megatron.
Feeling weird, I can't seem to focus good enough. Nothing's really clear, sometimes it could be a little tough. I just need to feel like the end's in sight for me. But let's be really real, anxiety can foggy all this stuff. I've been feeling weird, I can't seem to focus good enough. Nothing's really clear, sometimes it could be a little tough. I just need to feel like the end's in sight for me. But let's be really real, anxiety can foggy all this stuff.
What a very interesting topic of discussion, eh? Gamer Megatron. I just said A, like a Canadian. God damn it. This toy, when it was revealed, had a lot of people go, oh, the original's better. People seem to do that on like first glance without giving things a second thought because they just don't care. I'm not saying that everybody does that. If you genuinely like the original over this, then hey, that's fine, that's great. The original's a very good toy. There's just a select group of like 10 people who always do that as soon as anything is shown off and then don't back up their claims with reasoning, and it just gets on my nerves sometimes. This one is way more accurate to the game model than the original, which is more based off the concepts, but sometimes accuracy can be a curse rather than a benefit. Gamer Megatron was a toy I wanted to get my own thoughts on, and before I go anywhere, let me just... Yep, there we go, problem solved. See how easy that was? Okay, let's start with those first, because I know people are going to be in the comments completely ignoring anything I say and go, the knees are bad. The knees are bad. I'm going to be straight up, they're not great. But why? Why did they do this thing? Why did they have that thing there? What is the point of this portion, and why does it only bend 45 degrees? Well, when I opened this up, I opened it at Fan Expo, because that's where I bought it, with Vangelis. Say hi, Vangelis.
Hi, that toy guy.
We went to Fan Expo with TFI Creations and Ultra Primal and had fun, and I'm still tired from it. And they even gave us press badges so we could get in for free. That was really cool, and this was one of the toys I got there. Not sponsored, by the way, by Fan Expo. I'm just saying it was fun. But the reason I bring all that up is because Vangelis brought up a very good point when we were messing with this toy at the lunch table. Factory floor managers can apparently make changes to toys, and they have in the past. If you ever wondered why there are like unnecessary tabs on things or like weird aspects to toys, that can sometimes be traced back to the floor manager thinking it needs it to be there for more stability or something. And that could very much be the case here. I mean, it also couldn't be, but knowing the designers and how much they want articulation to be the focus, why would they put this here? They wouldn't. So this could very much be the floor manager thinking it needs to be more stable somehow and putting that thing in the knees and making it click and having that dingle dangle hanging off. That's not excusing the fact that it's there and it's annoying, but potentially understanding why it's there makes me want to complain less, and also you just cut them off and you're fine. And knowing Hasbro, there's like a 70% chance they will release another run of the toy without that tab there, and problem solved. They've done that in the past. So with all that said, the knees aren't something I want to complain about right now. I'm not going to go into the whole, ew, he's too small, because like, he scales with Prime and B quite well, and he is not the smallest Voyager we've got in recent years. He's actually quite tall. While I don't have any major complaints other than the cannon is a bit too small and not as detailed as I would like it to be, but that's so that it can attach where it does in alt mode, he's full of nitpicks. There are so many small nitpicky things on this toy that just make the experience of handling it weird. So just like the knees, the elbows click, and I don't know why or what for. They just click straight or are bent 45 degrees. They don't stop though. You can keep going and you can cheat it, but it's annoying. His head is way too small. His cheeks were larger in the game, so that's weird. His legs needed a bit more color, but I know Toy Hacks is going to fix that. And the torso on mine is pretty wobbly for some reason. Oh, and the treads on the legs are pretty messy. I kind of wish they could fold in a bit more. But it ain't all doom and gloom. I really like the colors of the upper body, and they really do look like they came straight from the game. That head sculpt itself is quite nice, and the entire robot is super clean. I just wish the head was a bit wider. And once the tab is taken off, the posing is very, very good. I just wish the cannon was bigger, but it is blast effect compatible, which yay, I'll take that. Just want to start this by saying, if you hear a slight hum in the background, that's the dehumidifier. It's really humid today, so it has to be on, and it's outside the room, so if you hear it, sorry. Anyways,
Megatron's articulation is very slightly strange. Like, he has all the joints you'd want. It's just what they do is weird. So the head is on a ball joint, but it can rotate left and right, and it can look up, but then it's starting to come off the ball joint a little bit, so you gotta like push it back down, which is a bit weird. Shoulders can rotate, they can do full 360. They both go out and do full T-pose, even though this one has the little shoulder bits on it, which is nice. Bicep rotation is right there. Then you have your elbow bend, which, as I said, it clicks into place. And you have a double elbow bend, technically for transformation, but the bicep swivel is in the middle of that. Nothing at the wrist. This arm does do the whole pop-off thing to like plug the gun in, by the way. Waist does rotate, and like I said, mine wobbles. I think I'm gonna have to take these two screws off and like tighten it, because it's in the butt where it's wobbling. It's not wobbling on the mushroom peg, because the mushroom peg is what's wobbling. So it's very weird. Legs can go forward that far, they can go back that far, they can go in and out. You have thigh rotation, although this one does that amazing thing where it will just, it won't do it now obviously because the camera's on, but when I twist it, is it that one or is it this one? It's this one. It's just not doing it. Sometimes it just falls off. The knees would usually only bend that far, but if you snip the knee, it goes all the way like that, and you can actually get him into a kneeling pose, and he will stay. So that's quite nice. He's very poseable, actually, once you get that stupid thing cut off. The leg almost fell off there. And then you have slight ankle tilt, and then the feet can go forward and back. So he is pretty poseable. He has all the joints you'd want. It's just like these elbows are weird, and the knees are weird until you clip them, and the ankle tilts go more in the wrong direction. But you can get him looking decent.
So the robot is just nice, but full of weird stuff. So how's that tank mode?
Now the transformation is very, very different. Well, it's completely different from the original one. And I actually kind of like this one a little bit more, just because of how it cleans up. The original was fine, but this one just sort of cleans up a bit better to me. You detach the cannon, straighten out everything, and then we're going to readjust so that I'm not sitting on my knee anymore, and fold up the hands. Like that. Then we're going to just pull this out and rotate it and have it sitting on top there. Fold that up like that. Bring the chest out and down. Then we want to fold up the toes, open up the legs, fold the feet in, while also bringing this around and pegging it into place. Folding out the hover treads. He does not have tank treads in the game. He hovers out of these the entire time. So these are accurate. I will talk more about that later. But I'll touch more on that later. Just like that. Bring these around. Fold that flat. Bring this up. You want to make sure that these two portholes right there are directly next to each other, so that when you fold it in, they line up with everything and just sort of peg into place like that. Then you bring this section back and around, and it will clip into itself, and these two pegs will peg in right here. Now, one thing to note, I always thought that this was where the arm stores for like robot mode, and it can store there, but it does just fall off. So that is something that I think needs to be tightened. There we go. Put the arm on the correct way. You peg it into place like that. And then you bring this around like so. Just sort of slide it all into place. Come on. There we go. Like that. And then slide this one into place like that. Peg it all together. Make sure everything's all sort of lined up nicely. Then you take the cannon and you plug it in. Now, this is the reason why the cannon is short, because it has to plug into the arm, because that is, again, accurate to the game. But this is where the title partially comes into play. It's like, accurate, but do we care? No, I think people would have preferred a larger cannon over this. I do like the way that this looks quite a bit, but I would have honestly preferred a larger cannon. Maybe one that sort of like sat on top of this. That would have been like if say the back of the cannon folded out and then it just sat on top of here. That would have been nice. But there you go. Hover tank. It doesn't hover.
Now that's actually a nice tank mode. The treads though, They are sideways the whole time. Now, another thing Vangelis brought up was that in the game, the treads do not fold up. And yeah, the old toy did, but in the game, they don't fold up at all. I'm gonna put footage right here showing myself driving the tank, and you can see when you activate the speed mode in the game or whatever it's called, the treads stay where they are because he's a hover tank. Just like Warpath was in the game, a hover tank. And Brawl, hover tanks. There are no tanks with treads. That's where the title comes into play. It's accurate, but I don't think anyone wants that part to be accurate. I'd see a lot of people wishing that the treads could fold down and be actual treads, because that's what we're used to with tanks. I don't know if that's like original bias coming in for a lot of people because the original had the treads, because that's concept art, but it is something that people complain about. It is accurate, but I'm not sure if people want that level of accuracy. I would like treads personally, but I think this solution is still fine. The turret doesn't rotate because in the game the entire tank would instead of the turret. So I'm okay with that, but again, there are some people who wish the turret could rotate as well, but this is accurate, but it's like, does it need to be accurate? And the shaping of the tank is pretty nice, if not just, it's just not wide enough to me, I feel. It needs to be just a little bit wider, and that's where the original kind of wins for me in that regard. See, it's just all around weird. Like, I'm not sitting here mad about it, because really at the end of the day, it's a toy, and it's not something to get worked up about, put your energy somewhere else. But it's such a strange thing. It's something you definitely have to experience for yourself, but not like in an Armada Prime kind of way. I do recommend it. The knees are easily fixed, but I would get it on sale. Full Voyager price feels worth it just about, but I don't think that's justifiable for a lot of people who want to go into this thing as an experiment. So, if anything, his Wavemate actually feels more worth it, and a bit more than Voyager price, and oh, I see now. It is a very strange thing that exists. I like it now that the knees are fixed, but you also shouldn't have to fix the thing right out of the box. So hopefully Hasbro can address that and release a version of this toy without those weird tabs on the back of his knees as like a second run for another wave, or a package refresh of him with new knees would be nice. But yeah, I do still say get it, but maybe get it on sale or use like a GameStop Edge Platinum thing to get it. But that's my look at Gamer Megatron. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.